Latrell Mitchell plays on the edge, but his social media detractors have stepped way over that line. Two of them have been arrested for sending the South Star abusive and racist messages, and Mitchell says it's time to stop.
It only takes that one message for someone, not as strong as me, that can't take the criticism and, for them to go and do some self-harm. And that's all it takes is one word, and today I'm taking a stand on it.
Last week we talked about Latrell, and people often have a dig about the way he plays, the style of play, various reports and fines, and obviously the 4 weeks he copped as well. But for him to have the gumption to stand up and do that is terrific.
I think it's great. I do. And I worry sometimes about the young players in the game and what they're going through. I've heard, some of the stars of our game talk about social media and the effect that it has on them and how down they can get about reading social media. I'm old-fashioned, so I just say don't read it. But that's not the world that these boys live in. They live on social media. That is part of who they are. And if you are constantly being harassed and racially abused or just abused, it's got to get you down. And really, some of the garbage that I've seen written about players to players, it's not good. So good on Latrell for standing up and saying that enough is enough.
I see that that audio of him talking, and I just see it from an outsider's point of view. A super talented kid who's come through, who's struggled a bit with the hype and made mistakes along the way, maturing and blossoming before our very eyes. So very brave, very brave. Because the easiest thing to do is just run away and ignore it, and let it eat you up and let it sort of hinder your performances on the field. But by standing up and putting his hand up, owning it, I mean, we talk about leadership. That is a great example of leadership. And I just think the second half of his career is going to be something to behold, I hope.
I think it's everywhere. Like jockeys, I know, they're worried about young kids. A few in Brisbane who've come back after a ride and just get absolutely butchered like that. But the insecurity can stretch to all corners. Steph Curry, remember that? The story about him going to the lock at half-time. What are they saying on Twitter? Steph
that would
Curry.
motivate him in the second half of a basketball game.
But you mentioned jockeys, which is pertinent, because Latrell says that the abuse isn't always triggered by his heritage, for example. There are also some self-serving motives. Have a listen.
Yeah, I don't even think it's about the background stuff either. It's about, even multis. We don't care about your multis, you know what I mean? Don't spend the money if you don't want to lose, That's what it's about. Just don't do it. And we don't want to cop the messages, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, if you're going to spend money on a game and then, We love you, Latrell! But yeah, look, honestly, I just want people to be accountable for their actions.
See, and there'll be some that will say, look, you play the game, you put yourself out there, you've got to be able to cop.
Yeah, you get paid a lot of money.
But there's a line. Yeah, there's got to be a line.
Absolutely.
As to and obviously Latrell, that line has been overstepped.
And as soon as it becomes a racist issue, I mean, what's the difference between typing it and saying it to your face? Most of them don't have the courage to say it to your face. But if you can get police involved, the more that do it, the better. We've seen it with Eddie Betts in the AFL as well. Paddy Ryder's spoken out about it. If they can do it on one or two occasions with these players, why can't they do it more often?